Hey, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. So, today I was going to talk about unpriced listings. These things really get on my nerves because for a number of reasons. I consider them time burglars, the guy that posts them, and I'm sure it's not true for all of them. But I'll give you a little bit of my experience on these things and why I suggest you just ignore them. For those of you first time here, FlipAnything USA, I've got a book. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. This is the easier way to show you. I've got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Been a bestseller, Amazon Kindle, and urge you to take a look at it. It'll be the best $10 you ever spent on real estate. Information, anyways. Anyways, we'll be right back.
It's the best thing I ever did.
All right, so look, I look at all kinds of property everywhere listed by all kinds of sources. And, you know, one of the things that I don't like is I don't like being pestered for listings. Now, I understand people got to make a living. They got to do what they got to do. But I find unpriced listings kind of a fishing expedition for trying to get guys. In other words, the property they're soliciting for sale is not really for sale, and what it is they're just trying to get you to come take a look, but not for the purposes of really selling you anything, but more like finding out who you are, what you're interested in, and ultimately, you got anything you want to sell? It kind of opens the doors for those kinds of conversations. My phone number is all over the place. I don't answer my phone. I answer texts. If I don't recognize the number, I ignore it. And so I always, and even on my message says don't call. It says text or send me an email. And if it's solicitation, probably don't call at all. But I do like people in my network, and certainly I've registered with the different things, and I, look at properties for sale. But let's take a look here. So, Crexy is one of the sources that I use for real estate, and and they're seem newer to me. I don't know how long they've been around, but I've only been checking them out for maybe a year. But so and the other thing is the interest rates are going up. So the other thing I say, I just ignore low cap rates. It's not going to help any of us, giving them attention. We're here to make money if you're an investor, and that's what I suggest you do. But let's take a look at this. So this is Dallas. I'm in Dallas, Texas on this search, and I just saw one in here. They got a steakhouse. Like here. Now I appreciate this. Let me make this so you can see it. See right here, a 6.25 cap. So you know what the cap rate is on that. I appreciate that. That's information I want. In fact, when I see information lacking, here's 5.75. Now I appreciate them sharing it. There's not enough meat on the bone for me to be interested in that. But you keep going. We'll look. See nothing. Maybe it's just land. That's okay. Now look at this, a 3.5 cap rate. It's ridiculous. Can't even borrow money at 3.5 right now. But now here we go. Unpriced, right? Let me look here. Unpriced. So this is an unpriced listing. And, it says right here, let me move myself out of the way. Yeah, here, move it over here. There we go. Sorry. All right, there we go. Now I got myself out of the way. So look here, it says asking price unpriced. So that's not a price. Deals and terms are not currently defined. Request your own specific terms when submitting a non-binding offer. So it's just a waste of time. It's a fishing expedition to see how much you'll offer for it. And listen, I'm somebody that turns over every stone. There doesn't have to be a guarantee of success. I look. That's part of what I teach in my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. And but this is just a way of fishing and looking for people to give you a call, and it may not be this particular agent's plan, but that's what it almost always turns out. So I'll give you an example. So I was going through on here, and it was actually on Crexy too, and here's another one, Advance Auto, which kind of scares me. A former Advanced Auto, those are usually been kind of bulletproof. I don't know why that would go away, but again, it's unpriced, and the problem with that is, I'll give you an example. I called on a listing the other day, so I'm trying to find something between $3 and $8 million right now, or a couple things, and I called this guy, and actually I was looking. No, this is it. Check this out. This is another thing. So you're registered when you're in here, in this site. And so I'm going through here and I'm looking, and I clicked in like I'm clicking in right now. And I go, oh, damn it, this thing's unpriced. See, unpriced right there. And I said, I'm out of here. And then my phone rings about a day later, and the guy says, hey, I saw you were looking at my listing in here. And, and I go, oh, yeah, you know what, I do remember that. And I said, the reason I left is because it was unpriced. I said, what is the purpose of an unpriced listing? He says, well, the seller didn't want to put a price on it. And I said, well, it doesn't sound like he's very serious about selling it then. And I told him, I said, I said, what's the cap rate on it? Because I said, every time I ask somebody that has an unpriced listing, not only is it unpriced, there's no information or any basis for me to use to make an offer. How am I going to make an offer on a property if there's no information? So besides unpriced, it's like little or no information. And so I told him, I said, okay. I said, this one was owner occupied, 5.2 million. And I said, okay. I said, well, what's the rent? And he says, well, he doesn't pay rent. And I go, that doesn't make any sense to me. He's a business. He's paying rent. He's paying rent to himself. And he said, well, I said, what's the cap rate? He says, well, because he doesn't really pay rent, he doesn't have a cap rate. I go, okay. I go, see, this is what I'm talking about, why I don't like these kinds of listings. I go, we're already going nowhere. And I said, well, tell me what's the pro forma, what's the pro forma cap rate on this? What do you anticipate what do you think's a fair? And he goes, oh, well, I don't know. And I said, well, how on earth am I supposed to make an offer on a property when you don't know what the tenant that's in there, how long he's going to stay, what he wants to pay rent? I said, how am I going to buy it from him? Anyways, there's no good answers. There was just no good answers. And anyways, and I told him, I said, yeah, I just don't appreciate such a hollow listing. And I said, I may not be your intentions. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I said, but to me, this is an absolute waste of time. One of the folks from Crexy had actually called me, and it was just, checking on other buildings if I still had some vacancies. And actually, they were trying to sell me the product. They're a database, and that's what it was. It was a sales call, and I was interested to talk to him. But I let him know. I said, I wish you guys wouldn't put unpriced listings. It just doesn't make any sense, and I don't see the purpose. It feels like a fishing expedition, which is kind of a time burglar. You go to look at something you're earnestly interested in buying, and then you find out it's really not for sale. It's just a means to find out what you have. And if you want to give a listing, it's a terrible way to market as far as I'm concerned, or to look for stuff. How about you guys watching? Anybody have any similar experiences? Anything you're interested in? Any particular area you're interested in? And I'll go back in here, see if anybody comes back with something. So again, these low cap rates. Now, like here's 6.58. That's not great. And it's not going to last because, if you borrow money, it's not going to last because you're just not going to do well enough. Damn near your rate's going to be damn near this much anyways. So that's the problem. If you got cash and you want to throw cash out and you don't mind to me, I would never throw cash for a 5.25% return. It would just never happen. Now, if I could borrow money at 3% and make 2.25% on the borrowed money, it would make sense. But this stuff just doesn't even make sense. Here's another unpriced listing, unpriced. See, this is becoming a thing with Crexy, and I think Crexy's making a big mistake. by allowing themselves. Look at this, unpriced. So look at, there's out of these 6, half of them are unpriced. 4.5. I mean, I don't know. People are going to have to get real here pretty soon. The economy's starting to tank, folks. And anybody that buys right now, I mean, I would just, if you're going to buy retail, if you're going to buy what's on the market, and you're going to buy somewhat retail, be careful, because you're chances are the value is going to go down with money getting, if you plan on turning it anyways, because the guy that's going to buy it from you is going to be paying a higher rate than you are. Next month, he's going to be paying more for that money than you are today. Anyways, this is in Denton here. We can take a look at some of these. 7.4, that's getting a little better. This one doesn't have any kind of, of course, it's unpriced. I'm not going to call on this. I would call on this, 1.4 million. I can do the math. It's actually, that's pretty good, actually. It's less than $50 a foot. Let's take a look at this one. Actually, my students that are out in Texas, you might want to take a look at this. Restaurante. Damn. So it's got a 7.4 cap rate down here. They wrote 7.41 here. So 88% occupied. And see, this is what I'm talking about, the pro forma cap rate. This is a, where'd it go? Right here. See right here, pro forma cap rate, 7.41. Price per square foot. No, that doesn't look right. Let me see. The net operating income on this is $153,000, and let's see here. I take that back. No, the net operating income on this is $103,000, but they have a pro forma cap rate. See right here, of almost 11%. This is interesting. This is kind of getting into that area where I would take interest. I like 11 caps, and I like it's got to be special if I mess with it. If it's near 7, it's got to have some upward potential, and this one does. This kind of fits my criteria. Look here, 7.41. That's the estimated cap rate when it's 100% occupied, and then over here, when it's 100% occupied, they're looking at damn near a 11% return, which again, that can work. So let's see. Let's get me out of the way here a little bit and see what else. There's that. And again, see, there's just nobody did any work here. To me, it's just going to hurt the agent. You got to have something to show. Here's the Caliber Auto. This is again unpriced. You can see it's. Oh my gosh. Yeah, square footage. It's got the income. It's got the net operating income. I'll give them that on this. I don't know. Anyways, what else? Anybody got any particular area they want to look at? We can take a look around. What I got to see here? All right. Let's go back in here. More unpriced listings. The problem is it's like you're going to go to the bank and say, I want to buy this property. They're going to ask you, well, what's it, what do they want for it? I don't know. How many square feet? You can tell them that. What is the cap rate? What is the tenant that's in there? What are they willing to pay? If you can't answer that information, the bank's going to look at you like you're crazy. And that's why I say, look at this. God, this is frustrating. Take a look at this. Unpriced. 2 more unpriced. For sale. What do you think you want for it? I don't know. How much money does it make? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I would just tell you, it's frustrating. But I would urge you, if you don't believe me, call on some of these unpriced listings and see how much information you can get, and find out if you're not just having your time wasted, or if it is, legitimate. I just have not gotten any really good information out of the agents on these things, or it just seems like it's a lost leader. It's a way to get people to come in and strike up a conversation. There was an old guy. Oh, hey, by the way, if you just got here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel, and I'll certainly talk about anything you want to talk about. It seems a little quiet tonight, but there was this old guy. His name was Henry. I won't say his last name. And he had a giant for sale sign in front of his property. It's the one he actually lived in. I mean, this thing was 8 feet long by 4 feet high. Thing was up there, for sale, for sale. It had some commercial potential. And I go over there and I say, hey, Henry, what's up? And I go, what do you want for the property? So I want $200,000. And I said, you know what? Okay. I said, let's do it. I'll buy it. And then he said, oh, well, I don't need to sell it. Okay. So he's got a giant for sale sign. He wants $200,000. I say, okay. And then he says, well, I don't really need to sell it. Well, I didn't ask you if you did. I just go and buy the for sale sign. Anyways, so I'm patient. He was an older guy. And then, I checked back on him about a month later, a couple weeks later. And, hey, Henry, what's up? What do you want to do? And he's like, $250,000. I don't really need to sell it, but I'd take $250,000. I said, you know what? I said, I'll do it. I'll give you $250,000. And it's like, he was like mad. He was upset. And he goes, well, I don't really want to sell it. I don't really need to sell it. I said, and then this went on for years, up until it was $400,000. And I stopped by and I said, Henry, I said, you want to sell this thing? And he said, man, I'm getting tired of you asking me if I want to sell it. He goes, why do you keep bothering me? And then what's funny part is that when he's sitting there griping at me, about this, he's standing right in front of his for sale sign, huge for sale sign. Like I said, 8 feet, it's a piece of plywood. And I go, Henry, turn around. And he turns around, and I go, look at your sign. It says for sale. It's been there for 5 years. And he said, I don't even want to talk about it. And he stomped off. Next thing you know, I see a real estate agent sign up there. Real estate agent has a sign up, for sale with real estate agent. Call the agent, and I said, what does he want for it? How much? And he says, once, I don't know, $450 or $475, I don't even know. I say, you know what? I go, I got a feeling you ain't never going to sell this property. I said, but I'll go ahead and take it. Let's write it up. And I have about $460, or I made him an offer. I don't remember exactly at the moment. And so he comes back, and he says, well, Henry's really not feeling very good right now, and so he wants to, just take a little while. I see, you ain't never selling this thing. And so I checked back with him a couple weeks later, and now that the price is up to $500,000, I go, I'll take it. Let's do it. And he says, all right, let me give him a call. He comes back, and I said, yeah, he doesn't want to sell it, does he? He goes, I'm starting to think you're right, Tom. And sure enough, that agent's sign went down. New agent's sign came back up, and here we go again. Next agent comes up, call him up. I said, do you think this thing's going to sell? He said, well, he wants to sell it. And he's very, very protective of the seller. I go, dude, I've been trying to buy this thing for 5 years. And I go, I've offered him full price every time. He's never taken it. I said, but how much do you want for it? He says he wants $600,000. I said, you know what? How about $550? And he says, let me see. Let me give him a call. So he goes, calls him up, comes back, says, well, he's not really feeling very good right now. And I go, dude, you ain't never going to sell this thing. And anyways, and in fact, I ran into Henry again a little later, and I said, Henry, I go, I don't know what it is with you. I said, I got a feeling I'm going to be buying this from your kids someday, when he passes on. And anyways, but he was a nice guy, and he did pass on, and guess what? His kids put it up for sale, made a huge mistake too, because I'll tell you what they did. They put this thing up for sale, and it had a structure on it. It had a house. And they said, the code enforcement said they want us to tear it down. I go, don't tear it down. Don't tear it down, because that existing structure is an asset. Even if you tear everything down but one wall, because that existing structure has a value, and I'll tell you why. You got to get in the mentorship or get the book, but there is value there. There's value there. Even if you tear it down, it gives you certain advantages. I'm not going to give it up because it's something I teach. And by the way, take a quick second to look at this, and I'll be right back.
Stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all of the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
All right, so we got some people. I don't know why. It looked like everybody's locked out of the chat here for a bit. So Barry wrote, hey, Delt, how you doing? Barry says, I get emails every day from companies like Colliers with unpriced listings. Yeah, my God. Yeah, I'm sorry. What cap rate do you personally look for? Look, if I can get a 9 cap, then I should be able to finance it, and in the end, I should get about 24 to 25% return on my cash, meaning with 25% down, borrow the difference. If I got a 9 cap on the overall property, I can make 24 or 25%. Now, that's changing a little bit now because the borrowed money's costing me more. So now I'm probably looking for closer to a 10 cap, to be honest, in order to satisfy me, what I'm looking for. Now, there's a handful of people out there that will pay, that'll operate on 6%. A lot of, I don't know, second generation wealth, maybe, I don't know. But people that got more money than sense, as far as I'm concerned, or because, there's a lot of, if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of dark properties, even the ones I just showed you on Crexy. We were looking at some, what did we see? I just saw something in here. An auto parts store. There was an auto parts store, right? That was empty. There was Kentucky Fried Chicken somewhere in here that I saw that was empty. We call those dark stores because they're still leased, some of them. Some of them are still leased, and they're still paying rent on it, but there's nobody in there. So for whatever reason, they've made a business decision to honor their lease, pay the rents, but not even have a business, in place to make some money and pay those bills. So, there's a lot of people really upset, miserable, workforce out there, and I can tell you, I've just seen it in the trades. I've been correcting work, even on I've got tile guys, I've got some new guys working for them. It's been looking like shit. I had to have harsh words with my tile guy today and told him, listen, I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars with you. I can't spend thousands of dollars and have it look like shit. And I can't spend my day watching you because he's got to watch his guys. His guys aren't doing a good job. His guys are not experienced. And I said, look, just get these guys off the property. I said, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to help you float it out. I'm going to help you because anyways, I'll help you get it floated out so it's perfect. We're using the Schluter material. Everything's got to be perfect for it to lay right. And you guys will see a nice video on this pretty soon. And shit, he ended up peeling half the tiles off the wall. And that just pisses me off because all of a sudden I'm remodeling a brand new project. And, you got brand new green board up and everything's clean and square. And then all of a sudden they're pulling tiles and scraping the shit off. And, it's just starting to look like a rework. Hey, thanks, JC. Appreciate it. There's an old senile man who is selling the White House. Huh. Yep. Is there a for sale sign out in front? I think it is for sale. Unfortunately, you got to be rushing to take advantage of that deal. So Russ, no offense, Russ. Preston Douglas, what cap rate we already got on that? So anyways, like I said, I just wanted to share this. This is one of the things that's been, I'm looking for property, but again, I'm not seeing anything exciting. I am seeing the market change. Things are sitting on the market longer. Russ, what do you see? Russ is an agent. Russ, what do you see? You seeing stuff starting to sit longer? And these cap rates, I'm seeing them even adjusting the cap rates up. I'm seeing some things that were 4.7 5.75. They've adjusted up to 5.5. It's not enough, but at least it's going in the right direction. They're starting to make a little more room. But, yeah. So there's 6.25 cap. Russ, did you come back with anything? Anyhow, I'd like to hear what Russ has to say. Or any agent out there, if you're an agent, tell me what your thoughts are. Look at it, 3.5 cap on an O'Reilly Auto Parts. No thanks. 5% on a Thermo King, no thanks. Unpriced, I'm not even going to bother. And look at here, this is what I was talking about. Now, I don't know that they're getting any money out of this, but it says former Advanced Auto. So they're obviously not getting any money out of it. It looks like it's vacant. I mean, maybe they are, but it doesn't call it a dark rental. See, even if this was what we call a dark rental, even if it was bringing in money, they would have a cap rate and say how much money. It's really weird, though, to see a vacant building and you see a 6 cap on a vacant building, you know. Now, this one here, look at this. This is 40,000 square feet. Has a 5.6 cap. I like the property. I love these kind of strip centers. I have a few of those myself. You know, a single restaurant, this has no appeal to me. You know, maybe someday, you know, I'll tell you, I told you guys the other day I was in a P.F. Chang's and it was 3/4 empty. And they told me 45 minutes before I could sit down. And I said, why? And they go, well, we don't have the help. We don't have any help. And they were attributed to not having good help. But in fairness, at first I thought, you know, I was going to blame, whatever, just a lousy government. But I went to another restaurant down the street, and it was actually quite full and good. And the service was good, and they had plenty of servers. So there may be an internal problem with P.F. Chang's, that they're not keeping people happy, because I don't know what else to attribute. You know, one restaurant is established as P.F. Chang's to be so empty, and then another one that's not as established, just doing a hell of a business. And the food was good. I'm actually making myself hungry thinking about it. They had a good old-fashioned, too. So Russ wrote, a lot of investors are planning to sell their rentals as well. And are they getting nervous with the interest rate, Russ? I mean, what kind of cap rate? When you say rentals, you're talking about houses? And are they going to sell them to end users and might, make them homes? JC wrote, is a grocery store the best recession-proof business as a tenant for a single-tenant landlord? I've seen some empty grocery stores too, so I can't say it's the best. Honestly, I'll tell you what I think the best is. The best is a dialysis clinic. People that absolutely are going to die if they're not open. You don't have a huge cap rate on those, but they're definitely going to stay open. And you get one of those that's built, not too old. It'll be leased for 20 years. Gus, when you say did they over leverage, who are you talking to? Are you talking about, maybe you're asking Russ, did they over leverage? Yeah, well, I can tell you, hey Ken, welcome. Some investors couldn't get the amount / price they want, so they pulled off the market and rented the property out. He's talking about single-family homes. Frank says, I'm seeing more price reductions here lately. Frank, where you at? I mean, it's just prudent. I tell people in a situation like this, if you got something you plan on selling in the next few years, sell it now, because I don't think you're looking at much upside coming. And if anything, people are qualifying for less, right? You qualify for less today than you did last week. And next month you'll qualify for less than you do right now, because the interest rates are going up. It's going to cost more for that money. Yeah, Frank, where are you at? Maybe you guys name off some of the areas you're at. I know Russ is Portland. He may be also referring to Idaho too. No, dialysis, thanks, JC. I appreciate the compliment. Looking for multifamily deals. Yeah. Yeah, if they're deals, it makes sense. Russ wrote, no, those investors have a lot of equity in those properties. Oh, so yeah, I think you're referring to somebody asking if they're over leveraged. So what do you think what's pushing them, Russ? They just see no sense throwing good money after bad. They don't see much upside. They're going to sell it for as much now as they're probably going to 2 years from now. Is that kind of the sentiment, you think? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Looking for multifamily deals. Yeah, I don't know. I seen it, these other deals. Ryan Pineda had this $10 million property maybe it's $21 million property. Anyways, to me, I wouldn't have touched it with a 10-foot pole. I thought it was a problem from day one. High crime rate area. I thought it was a mistake, and I think that one's going to sting him because now they're fixing up a property when shit's never been more expensive to buy right now. Things are in short supply, and at the same time, crime's going up too, and he's in a high crime rate area already. And then take that into consideration, and then take that whoever they're going to sell it to, maybe the plan is hold it forever, but if you're going to sell it to somebody else, their money's getting more expensive. So Gus wrote, this recession might be bad unless they turn on the printer again. Yeah, I hope they don't, because this is how it's supposed to work. You fail, and then other people eat what's left of you. That's how it works. You go out there, you make a big mistake, fall on your face, you lose everything you got or whatever you put together, and other people eat it up, and then they build, and then the stronger people, the better businessmen go on. Oh, condo conversions. Yeah, I actually like business condos. I used to have, I'll show you one that I used to own. And then let's see, what did Russ say? I guess they want to get out before real estate crashes. Yeah, or like 1980 when I started. That was really the last time we had a huge crash and a lot of high inflation. I was talking to some people the other day, and they're talking about, hey, Tom, do you think we're in a recession? And of course, this followed them telling me that their rent was going from $900 a month to $2,000. Another one said they're selling the duplex he lives in, and I said, well, listen, if they're selling the place you're in, they're doubling your rent. I said, does that feel like a recession to you? And they're like, mm-hmm. I go, yeah. I say, well, it's relative to who you are. I mean, there's, I think what it is two consecutive quarters that the economy shrinks. That defines a recession. So who knows? We'll see. See what the next quarter does. I believe that's the main definition for it. Yeah, Gus, I don't know. It's different in different areas. Look, man, there is money everywhere around me right now. There is so much stupid money. It's the liberal cities are ones that are kind of really taking a bath, I think, because they're getting killed with crime so much as well. JC wrote, I'm seeing a lot of investors unloading their properties in Southern California. Yeah, I think people are getting out of California for multiple reasons. State tax being a big one. But yeah, I believe we do need to, I believe interest rates should be higher. I just remember being a kid, and, if you save $2 million, you could get $200,000 a year on your $2 million. And, that seems like a nice reward, get $200,000 a year on your $2 million that you worked your life to save. But right now, you'd get maybe maybe you get a little more now, but, just say you get whatever. You get $10,000 or $20,000. If you got 1% on $2 million, you get $20,000. Maybe it'll go up a little bit, and people start getting $30,000-$40,000 on their $2 million. But what's sad is that somebody that comes into the country never paid any taxes, and they're pulling more than that out of the taxpayer's pocket, just in existence, or people that are on disability that really aren't disabled. They're pulling a couple grand a month out. So they're making more money by just being on the government dole than the guy that worked his whole life and he's just trying to get some decent interest on his money. They make more than they might as well be a millionaire. They might as well be a multimillionaire, right? I mean, if you're making more than a guy that, if you're making more than a guy that has $2 million in the bank on his interest, and you're making it by just, being a deadbeat, what does that say? What does that say? Our country's in trouble, because that's how it works right now. Let's see, Liam's chime in. Always love to hear from Liam. We'll see where the market goes. He says, Gus Fring, I hope it crashes here. I live in the Bay Area. Yeah, actually, I like above the Bay Area. I kind of like Northern California. There's some beautiful places out there. Folsom and Cameron and Georgetown, Coloma, Placerville. Those are areas I like a lot. Frank says a lot of condos on the market here in Florida, but HOA fees can be high. Well, on the beach, they got high. I mean, you got a lot of upkeep with the salt water anyways, so I understand some of those HOA fees being a little bit high near the beach. Somebody's telling me about a buddy there's got a decent house on the beach, and the guy spends over $100,000 just keeping the place from rotting. Constantly got to paint and wash and clean. His sailboats are that way too. I had a buddy had a sailboat. He had somebody cleaning his sailboat every single day, whether it was on it or not. It didn't make it dirty. It was just the sea, the water eating it up. Liam wrote, I am in a 1031 now. If I don't defer, I will need to pay $120,000 tax. So like Liam's in this position, looks like he's got about, $500 some odd $1,000, and, he's going to eat 20% of it if he doesn't find something to put his money in. A lot of people let that 1031 pressure him into making a bad decision and a bad deal. And sometimes you're better off just take your lumps, pay your $120,000, maybe in Liam's case, and you got that $400,000 that's clean, that, you paid your taxes on it. It's yours, and you can sit there and wait until something falls apart for somebody else and buy up the pieces. So Gus wrote, yeah, my uncle has 9% mortgage on $200K, and his home is worth now $2 million. Yeah. So when I first started in real estate, the first deal I bought, I paid 10% interest. And then, I started carrying notes for other people. This is like when I was in my early 20s. And, I probably had over $1 million in notes. And I don't think any of the interest rates were less than 9 that I carried notes on. And it was nice. It was just, it was nice, get $1,000 a year on $10,000. It was pretty cool. So I had a lot of $10,000 notes. That's why I say that. Anyways, I don't know. You guys want to look at something? I've been on here for a little while. We can call it quits, or I can jump over, look at something else. Any of you guys got any particular area you want to look at? We can go, I'll jump in. But again, back to the unpriced stuff. I would, unless you disagree with me, you can tell me why, but I find it a pain in the ass and a waste of my time, almost every time. I mean, why on earth? Look at this. It's like half the stuff in here is unpriced. Where is that going? What is the purpose? Again, I think it's just a fishing expedition. I get all these stupid texts now. How are you? Are we on for lunch? All this bullshit. And all it is a fishing expedition. It's like, it's not sincere. It's just a way to get information from you. Probably trying to get my credit card. But anyways, I get these stupid things. Every time once in a while I get irritated. I'll say, yeah, send me a picture. Of course, nothing comes. But trying to shake down an old man here. A lot of times they'll pretend to be girls or hey, are we on for lunch? This is Karen. And then no, Karen, you got the wrong number. No, Karen's not here. Oh, so fortuitous, we meet this way. Anyways, no thanks. Jacksonville, Florida. You want to take a look at Jacksonville? Let's check it out. I like Florida. I was actually in Ben Mala's area. I actually looked at a couple properties. Actually, not in his neighborhood. Actually, I saw one of the properties he just recently bought, too. He did all right on it. It was a little place. He said he bought for his wife. Let's see. So there's a CVS pharmacy. Actually, they've bumped the cap up. Most of those are usually low. Looks, I can't tell. 11,000 square feet. That's actually a decent-sized CVS, by the way. Firebirds wood-fired grill. I never heard of them. Maybe they're a chain. I don't know. Anybody know anything about Firebirds? Are they a chain in Florida? There's a Tires Plus. Again, these are lacking the information I like to see, which is the cap rate. I like seeing the square footage. I like seeing the price because I can do the math quickly and figure out how much you're asking a foot. Give you an example. Okay, $7.5 million. This is not bad. This is a little over $200 a foot. This could be interesting. 6.2 cap, if the leases are coming due, up for renewal, there's a possibility. You can pay maybe. Again, the interest rates have jumped up. See, I got to still adjust myself. I've been borrowing money at 3.5, 3.75%. Today, I don't think I can get anything less than 4.25 right now. So that's going to reduce the money that I make on the borrowed money. But so let's take a look here. So appreciate the price. Thank you for pricing it, Daniel. So let's just take a look. It looks like a decent little property. Oh, that's kind of weird. The little facade looks kind of funny down. But still looks okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like these letterbox signs. These raised letterbox signs, that's a desirable looking sign. Rather than the old little, picture frame boxes. So yeah, this looks pretty clean and neat. Now, what I look at when I look at these buildings is I'm looking for quality tenants that I think will be around. I do like a clean roof like this. I almost can't tell. I think it's a metal roof. I don't see any drains up there. Looks like a gutter. Sometimes on these metal roofs, they'll have an interior gutter down the middle. Man, I've owned quite a few buildings like that, and I don't like them. They're just, it's like a giant gutter in the middle of your building. And sometimes there's a gutter like this along the edge here. And when you have a problem, like trees plug the gutter, that giant gutter fills up, water can come back in the building fairly easy when you have something like that. So you got to always be mindful to keep your gutters cleaned on those type of things. But, yeah, it looks pretty clean. All their ACs are on the ground, That's okay as long as it's secure. Nobody cuts them and steals them. I used to like the ACs on the roof, but certain roofs you don't really want people walking around on. It just causes leaks anyways. This is a nice, clean listing. The agent did a good job showing this off, by the way. So what else? You like dollar stores? Yeah, dollar stores, I think dollar stores and Dollar Tree are owned by the same company. And they kind of have they seem to, they're of all different sizes and in all different places. And in fact, I have a property that I'm looking at right now. We're going back and forth on it right now, the people that I'm trying to buy it from. And I thought, maybe this would be a dollar store location. It could be a little bit out in the suburbs, but it looks like it kind of fits the Dollar Tree deal. But the problem is Dollar Tree and dollar stores, I haven't seen much more than a cap rate of 5 or 6% on them. And they like the rent to be fixed. My understanding is they like the rent to be fixed for 5 to 15 years, which, I like those. Like right now, I've been renewing leases and, exercising my CPI, charges, meaning the cost consumer price index, basically inflation. So adjust for inflation, raise the rents. And actually some I'm late taking care of. So if I can give you an idea, I think 2019, it was 2.4, 2020, and I probably have this wrong. The CPI was 6 point something. And now, right now, unbelievable, for 2022, the CPI, and this is inflation, right, is 8.6%. It's crazy. Family Dollar Tree, Jacksonville, Florida, 6.25 cap. Yep. Like I say, if, that's too low a cap for me. Like I say, a 6.25 cap, if it was on a big store like this, and I could look at this is 6.2, this is clean, it looks well built, looks well cared for, I like that. Look at the neighborhood, if it's not too crime heavy. 7.35, well, that's looking better all the time. That might be interesting. So now what you'd look at, Chris, is take a look at the lease. Take a look at is it here? You're saying I got it here? You look at the lease rate, And how many years are left on the lease? You want to know how many years are left on the lease? Because, I mean, if they're committed there for 5 years and you can get 7 and, 0.3 and it's a solid tenant, I mean, I could see, accepting that. It'll be a little tougher to do it today. It'll be harder to do it next month because I'm going to borrow 25% of the money because I like to make money on the borrowed money. It's the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. Unless you just got so much stinking money, it doesn't matter. Of course, cash is shit, right? Like Grant says, cash is shit. Cash shit. Cash shit. Give me that shit. All right. I don't know. We got some Tropical Cafe. Tropical Cafe, maybe they're a new going company, but, I'm not going to buy a smoothie place. Not for 4 3/4. I'm not going to buy anything for 4 3/4 cap rate. What else? Hamza. If you charge the low-end price, about $200K in filter, you won't see the listings without price. Hey, that's actually a good idea, Hamza. So you guys heard me bitching about the unpriced. And so Hamza, what he suggested is in the filters here, I can go in here and change any price, minimum 200,000. Actually, let's just say minimum. Let's say $1 million. I did 1,000. Oh, that ain't gonna work. 1 million. There we go. That's thanks. I don't know, Hamza. I feel embarrassed. I should have thought about that. I just irritated seeing it. So if you guys didn't catch that, Hamza said, like I said, just go in the filters and throw in a price. That'll get rid of unpriced. And I guess actually, if you really are interested in unpriced, just type in unpriced, and then you can look at them all. Like, look at this. Look at this Family Dollar. This is one thing that's really interesting about a Family Dollar. $5.6 million. You can buy one for $900,000 in some parts of the country. They're tiny, but $5.6 million, and you got a huge Family Dollar. Wow. Multi-tenant retail out parcel. So there's more room than that. I don't know much about Jacksonville. Is this Jacksonville? Yeah, Jacksonville. Been on the market 92 days. But people love those dollar stores. I was listening to somebody talk about it the other day, and they absolutely love the dollar stores. The price is right. That's why. And I guess some of them they've changed the model to be, up to $20. They're no longer just $1. And I confuse them. There's Dollar Tree, Dollar Store. Somebody I know, they've got what was it called? They basically created a company that is very similar to a dollar store. He owns property next door to one of my properties. Nice guy. His name's Abdullah. And he basically has created a chain of stores that's competitive with Dollar Tree, and similarly makes a lot of money. One day there was all kinds of boxes of shitty. They were just giving stuff away, and it was just all kinds of purses and all kinds of cheap crap from China. And but people eat it up, and it serves a purpose. So look, this is interesting. 90,000 square feet for $14 million, 14.7. So what do we got here? Well, it's under $200 a foot. I guess if it was $150 a foot, it's even under that. So under 200 square foot. That's what they pointed out right away. Mixed use. I don't know much about Jacksonville. You guys got anything good to say about it? It looks pretty well established. Now I love this. Look at this. Is a good looking property. Got the trees, got the palms. Everything, there's not a lot of landscaping here, my yard has more grass and trees than this place, but because it's covered with paving. It's a wonderful thing. So let's take a look at this. This looks pretty cool. It says 10 dock high spots, so it's got some warehouse and loading in the back. They got it outlined here. Yeah, that's pretty. You know, I kicked myself. I could have bought a 50,000 square foot beautiful warehouse for $2.5 million. And yeah, it's a good one, well located, and had a lot of parking too. So I could have, you know, consider this. Sometimes you can take a building like this. Just give you a heads up. You know, usually like an industrial type warehouse, they don't have much parking, right? Well, when they have to accommodate 18-wheelers, right? See all this? All these can accommodate an 18-wheeler. Well, an 18-wheeler might take 5 parking spots, 6 parking spots, right? Add in the turnaround space and that sort of thing. You got a huge swath of concrete and blacktop that is that can be converted into parking. So you can, in other words, you can make this all industrial, and instead of having 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 18-wheelers, instead you could have 70 cars, right? Or something like that. So, got to open your mind up to that stuff, because this is kind of the day and age where you got to think creatively, think about repurposing stuff. Because, look, Amazon's put many, many companies out of business. So now look, here's another one, 2.7 million. Wow. Damn, I'm going to hide this one. That looks like my cup of tea. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Great. Well, let's take a look at this. It's been on the market for a long time, so something probably smells. There's got to be a problem. 36,000 square feet for 2.7 million. Wow, that's less than $100 a foot. I have no idea. It's kind of low, but I don't know. According to this, there's 1.3 million owed. So in a situation like that, if you got enough money, you can walk up, put some money down, and take it over. Okay, let's get back to the comments here. Hamza, now go back to NPen. Yep. Hey, Tom, this is Nick. I'm a mentee, finished the book, almost done with your entire online course. I'm looking forward to talking about some of the deals I have going this week. Okay. Hey, this weekend, 10 a.m., I plan on being there, and we'll look at some of what you got. We'll jump around and look at it. And by the way, folks, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I've been investing in real estate for 41 years, made tens of millions of dollars. There's not a better lifestyle. Right? Cash for cars, college, houses, buildings. You can really make a fortune. And is it hard work? It can be hard work, but it doesn't compare to working a job the rest of your life. It's just the best thing. It's the best thing I've ever done. And I've had a few business ventures that have been good, but nothing compares to the money I make in real estate. So, all right, I think I've talked enough. It's 7:30. My girlfriend is sending me a text, and I've probably been on here an hour. But, hey, thanks for watching, everybody, and I want you to watch this, and then we'll check it out.
And listen, time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
I love watching that only because I see new millionaires that attribute it to the class, the mentorship. And you could be one of them. You really can be. Don't think for a second you can't be a millionaire in a short amount of time. There's people there that made themselves a millionaire in just a year. And, not always going to happen, but, Liam, who was in here earlier, he's made over $550,000 in just 2 years. And other people even done better. Other people have done short of that. But either way, it's fantastic. It's just a fantastic way to make money. Anyways, I'm just gonna take a look here at the notes again real quick. And thanks, guys, for hanging out. I appreciate it. Again, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you comment under the video, not the chat here, comment. That helps the algorithm if you want to help. Otherwise, be sure to get the book. Get the book. Wake up and smell the real estate. And anyways, happy hunting on deals. Be careful. Be careful. These are the trickier times for investors, okay? You got to be tricky. You got to be very careful. You got to watch the bank, got to watch the interest rate, and you got to consider what the future holds. When people have to pay more for money, values go down. So that's it, and see you later.